can kind of see here, we're throwing pretty far back from the edge of the tee pad, which is those red flags. This was probably the worst tee pad on the course, where it just got mauled throughout the day.
Scott, I believe, thrown his Malta.
Yeah, either his Malta or his right of the pin. Proctor looking to maybe go to school a little bit on my line, hugs it a little inside, and that's great.
Yeah, beautiful to the final round here.
James rather, tapping out a birdie. A bit skip up there, he's going to be close once again. James showcasing the backhand line. Gets the skip, hits a little short, but we'll see where that ends up. It had a nice roll to it at the end. Good run. He's going to sit. James is going to just casually toss in a 2.
You'd say as some of the small creeks that did play out of bounds that were somewhat questionable.
Oh. James, there is quite a bit of land behind the basket where you won't find the water, so I always tell myself the miss here is to go long, but James and Yuli are just going to put it clean.
They can drop from pretty much anywhere.
It's Ty and James clean up their tap-ins, whole tank. Oh, and James, super unfortunate to find that path. He now has to clear that path, and just barely. Yuli kind of laughing at himself there. He knows you can do better than that. Proctor going for it. I like this. Got the new shoes on.
Playing the full committed shot over the water the whole way. He's stoked with it. You're finding something if you're a little offline. It's just uncomfortable.
Oh my God, what a shot from James. That was disgusting. The trees and hope to have a putt. There's James feeling confident in calling shoes. And that's what we like to see, just a bomb out there. And that tends to happen a lot with the backhand. Oh
wow.
Goodness, forget that. James with a beautiful putt from 50, 55? Man.
Yeah, maybe 60.
Yeah, that thing was just floating and floating. Dead center.
Sweet replay here. Pushing that high ceiling.
Out of Seattle, Washington. I'm super excited to be able to film him. I filmed him a couple times already this year, and I'm very excited to get to do it again. That also looks like a pretty good shot. Should be instructed look there for 2, but he will have a look for 2 nonetheless. James starts this out on a good angle, and it just barely turns over on him. Can't really see that finish there, but it did skip off the golf green inbound. This is one that you can definitely attack for a 2. Some of these guys have a big enough arm to try and do that. James puts a good hurting on this one. What a poor disc. Gets that thing to turn over the whole way. See what play James goes to. Looked like he was kind of stuck in between. Looked like he was lining up the big wide hyzer, but just scooted it inside the tree. Here's James now from about 25 feet. Able to convert. James skipped out a little bit more than it looked like on camera. Gonna have a tester putt to save his birdie here. And stripes it dead center. James Proctor, when he gets the putter going, look out. Here's James Proctor now. Also going for the wide hyzer play. As long as he gets that skip, and he does, all the way down to the basket. That looks like a great shot there. James Proctor going to a rock and absolutely squares the gap. You're not going to quite be able to see it finish. James going to go to the forehand. As long as these miss, these late trees, perfect. Ooh, almost skipped it in there for an ace. Should have a pretty close birdie putt. James also able to tap in a birdie. And the other 2 guys will tap in for... And James, we saw what he could do in the first round on this hole. Absolutely parking this exact shot. The huge turnover way up in the air. Finally coming back into frame there. and he'll get it to about 20 or so feet. James able to convert as well. We saw James smash it over the green in the first round, looking like he's going to do the same here in the second round. Catches just a little bit of cabbage, doesn't go in the bunker. It's hard. And James was able to birdie this in the first round with a long putt. Let's see what he can do with his tee shot here. There you go, just barely carries the green. He'll have a very similar putt to what he did in round one. Some solid ground play. He might have a close birdie putt here. And we saw James get pretty close in round one. Let's see what his round two effort looks like. Started out on a great angle, and again, he's just been off. And James for the huge bonus too, and he got it. Man. Gets a huge bonus too on the rest of the card of all of his putts. And James able to pick up another stroke on Tanner Dorner. And he's right on the doorstep. Just one stroke back to tie him up with Tanner. Kaboom. Man, what a turkey to get there for James Proctor. Holes 11, 12, and 13. That tree's not in the way. And James, with Tyler being close, gonna have to convert here. And does get some ground play. He'll get up to about 25 feet. Hopefully he's gonna need it to keep pace with the leader. Oh, he got it. Let's go. James Proctor with an Anheuser soft spinner right in the center. Also a big clutch putt for James. And now we're in front of Dion and to keep pace with what could be a birdie with Tyler Schrock. There it is, dead center. Able to birdie hole 16. And that was a big one. Does get out in front of Dion. Stayed close there, so Kirby has guaranteed himself a birdie. He'll get to that 15 under mark. And James Proctor not going to guarantee himself the win yet. He has about 30, not quite able to convert. And James Proctor, this is now for the win. No matter what happens from here, if he makes this putt, this will guarantee him the win. This will get him to 17 under par. And there you have it. James Proctor, the experienced veteran, just sticks around all day, gets the birdies when he needs them. And really, I think the turning point of that final round was the turkey that he was able to pick up on 11, 12, and 13. That was huge. All three of those holes are birdieable, but very rarely do you get all three in the same round.
Fairway, unfortunately, is really wet. I think it's the only fairway on this course that is pretty wet. James, DJ, pretty good shot, comes up about 30, 35. James going a little wider. It looks like he is got the distance about right, but doesn't. And you don't know James's game. He's never seen a putt that he doesn't like, and
I go mid-range on this one. James, I think, is going. I think that purplish disc is a Sexton Firebird. I remember seeing him throw that a couple times in round one. And, yep, that's pretty much how you do it.
Here in this like 45 to 50 foot range, and this is something he's really good at.
Yeah, that putter is nasty. I always enjoy watching James putt. Yeah, I really like this hole. It's, right there. You kind of got to get it. I think this is probably one of the easier holes on the course. He drains these.
How do you gain strokes on it? You just don't, right?
Nope.
If he's doing this,
you can't lose strokes to guys who are doing that.
Yeah, and you were correct. DJ and I both throwing it pretty good there. James coming in a little short, but gets a good skip off of the golf fairway and puts it up. Yeah, well, we both would stand up and throw forehands there, but Lewis is a very limited forehand game. He can use it when he has to, but he would always prefer to throw the backhands. He's got this pink ESP nuke that it's in such a good spot for him. And then James going pretty conservative hyzer out there. He gets sneaky distance, though. James is a true power player.
Yeah, I really
These two have played this whole textbook. Kind of hyzer drive off the tee. Good second shot to leave yourself like a 3. So, and then these two, DJ and James, both have real makeable birdie putts. And as James does, he puts it right on the pole.
Yeah, it's a great birdie. I mean, this hole is tough because if you don't put yourself...
Is if you throw it in the pond, or if you throw it way long and have to putt back towards the pond. But pretty standard here. 30 feet, but as long as you're not tucked behind that one tall evergreen tree, it really doesn't matter where you go.
So do you have any consideration going on this one, like pushing a roller maybe, trying to get down there? Like it's a short par 4, like, you know,
in the morning than it is for the MPO field, so to say. And I bet you for some of the MP40, MP50, and FPO fields, this is a pretty good par 4 also. That's made it, and then James also still has to put it in from here.
Yeah, he hearts it.
Yeah, and you would expect him to, but sometimes, this exact hole, Dustin Keegan had me by 1, walks up and throws it in the basket and shuts the door on.
And that's the play for James, just putting it in bounds. He can miss a putt, and the roller counter ended at 21, I think.
Which was 21 more than I saw anybody else throw today.
I threw 1, so he got me by 20.
Got you by 20.
Not in score, though, which is the good thing.
Great job by James holding on. Only a 1-shot victory in the end, but realistically, could have tried to birdie hole 18 there if he needed to. I get to 20. Chris Nelson, I believe, comes back to take